And you've just heard Chains, the latest single by Stephen Young. And I'm joined by Stephen now. Hello, Stephen.
How you doing, pal?
I'm good. I'm really good. So what can you tell us about Chains?
As I'm sure you can tell by the first line of the song, it was written in lockdown.
That's what I was going to check, because, you know, sometimes you kind of read into songs and it's not, you know, someone said, no, that was written, you know, years ago, but that was the case this time around.
That was the case this time around, yeah. I'm sure I got that sense of doom across with the song, especially the middle eight. So released that, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. Yeah. Recorded for this single. I used a different engineer, producer, guy called Chris Marshall. Right. He works in a studio called Castle of Doom in Finniston.
Right.
It's owned. That studio is owned by Tony Dugan from Mogwai.
Okay.
Proper setup. So it's been great working with him. He's done both Jerry Cinnamon albums, Baby Strange, Declan Welsh.
Right.
He's really good. Also had Johnny Madden from Baby Strange co-producing it as well. So this one's a wee bit rockier than the previous 3 installments. And so far I've done 5 songs with Chris. Right. And at the end of this month I'm doing another couple. And the album should hopefully be finished by December, January.
Right,
but I don't think the album will be released for quite a while. But so just about to announce that I've got an EP coming out in February, alongside a gig in Tuts, which I'm just about to announce today. So Tuts will be the 19th of February, and the EP will be out the day before. So exciting. Don't have a title for the EP yet. Kind of need to hurry up with
that. Well, I mean, you were saying before we started recording that you're still kind of buzzing from playing your first live gig and
yeah.
So looking forward to Tuts and doing a launch. That must be really exciting for you.
Oh yeah. Aye, 2 years without a gig. I wasn't sure how it was going to go after 2 years, but usually I'm more nervous before a gig, but the musicians involved are just top notch. We only had like 3 rehearsals before the gig, but fair play to the guys, like they're phenomenal. Couldn't have went any better. Yeah, it was great. It's a 7-piece band. I've got a habit some people say I overdo things, like when I'm producing songs, but I kind of like that grand approach. Like for the first 2 singles I done during lockdown, like a big influence was Scott Walker.
You've just read one of my questions. I was going to say, there's a real Scott Walker vibe going on here. So
who isn't known to hold back on his arrangements? So I was, when we booked the gig, I was like, listening back to some of the songs, thinking, how the hell are we going to play these? But 7-piece, it works well. Obviously, there's some sacrifices, but we get a lot of good reviews after Saturday. We had a violinist, saxophone player, keys, lead guitar, acoustic, bass, drums, couple of harmonies as well. So it's sounding really exciting.
I was going to say, these songs sound as though you need that level of band to kind of back up what they're like on record. And
definitely.
I was also going to ask you how, being solo compared to being in a band, but with that many people on stage, it's almost like you are still in a band.
Yeah, I've been been in quite a lot of bands.
Yeah.
But I've been gigging and writing for about 15 years now. For the majority of that time, I was in a band called the Imagineers, and then after we split up, I've been in several short-lived bands, and I kind of got to the point where I was just like sick of bands splitting up because somebody had a kid or whatever and just couldn't commit. So I was like, I'm just going to go solo, because as long as I'm kicking around, I'll do it. But just play the long game, So I've got so many songs I haven't recorded that I want to record. So it's exciting.
So it gives you a kind of different level of control in a way, because you can get different musicians in, and as you say, different producers in, and it's your decision in the end.
Yeah, it's nice just having that creative license. Like I've been in bands, I've actually left bands before just because just the sound was too limited.
Right.
And after writing a batch of songs, I was like, where else can I take this? So I kind of need to keep myself creatively interested. So even like, the Imagineers, there was like quite a wide range of themes and styles, but somehow we kind of made it work together, just with the four musicians and their playing and the sounds. But I just like I can't do an album where every song sounds the same. I'll just get bored. And
so, I mean, we mentioned Scott Walker, which you can hear the influence there. But what other influences have you got? And does it change constantly? Do you start listening to someone else and think, oh yeah, I'd like to take some of that on board? How does it work?
Well, the past two singles, Chains and Tangerine Drugstore, I'm sure you can hear it, but there's some Bowie in there.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd say recently he's been my biggest influence. And the past few years, probably the main influences are The Last Shadow Puppets, Scott Walker, David Bowie. Kind of drawn to that retro production. Who else? The Coral, bands like that. Wee bit of psychedelia in there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Tangerine Drugstore, the second last single. That was kind of my attempt at doing a Danny Elfman-esque tune. I like that kind of spooky production, and choice of notes and chord progressions. I like a chord progression that kind of bends your ear. That's probably why I don't like the blues.
Well, we'll hear.
Well, I do like some blues, but I don't like straight blues. I like, say, the Rolling Stones. That's good blues to me. But straight blues, I like a wee surprise in a song. I like a middle eight that just takes you somewhere completely different,
Yeah, and we'll hear Tangerine Drugstore in a minute. People can hear exactly what you're talking about. I mean, and also there's kind of stories going on as well, isn't it? The people that you talked about, they tend of their songs had a lot in the lyrics too.
Yeah, Tangerine Drugstore. There's a lot of psychedelic imagery in there. Yeah. Collected from past psychedelic experiences, shall we say. Yeah, that one's kind of it's a bit of psychedelic experience I had with a previous partner. Probably
that's the thing about the songs, is people will read their own experiences into them anyway. And you said you've got the EP coming out. Do you know, is that going to be all new songs, or is it going to feature some of the releases that you've already had out? Do you know yet?
So it's going to be a 4-track EP. Chains is going to be on that, and then there's going to be 3 new songs.
Right.
Yeah, the next single is I'm actually shooting a video for that this weekend. It's kind of got a wee western vibe to it as well, so that's just showing another side. I like I love the kind of Ennio Morricone western soundtracks and the twangy guitars and the galloping rhythms, and yeah, so I've got to get a wee bit. There's always going to be a wee bit of that in there with me. We kind of had that style in the Imagineers as well for the song to song.
That's it. I mean, there's all sorts of different things going on, and I can't wait to hear that. When you're talking about influences, was your dad an influence as well? Because he released music this year.
Yeah, he released a song called Endlessly Changing, which I done harmonies on, played acoustic guitar. Great song, really good writer. Me and my friend producer David Milne have been co-producing my dad's first solo album. The past few months. So basically my dad's been coming in with a new song every week, prolific as he is, and me and Davey have just been having a party on it for a few hours, and then the next week we'll move on to the next one. And so far we've got 17 songs, and there's not one average song in there. It's like he's on the form of his life, you know. Excellent. So
a double album.
I hope. What's that?
I think there'll be a double album that might come out there if he's get that.
It's easily could be a double album at the start of next year. He's actually recording in Castle of Doom as well, with another producer called Jamie Holmes. He used to play drums in the Lapels.
Oh yeah.
Really good producer as well. So that's a really exciting project. It's just tune after tune. I really hope I'm as creative as my dad when I'm his age. That would be amazing.
It's great, and as we played the single on the show, Endlessly Changing, and it's a cracking song. Quick question, you've probably answered this many times, but when you were in the Imagineers, you ended up being Craig Ferguson's house band on his late night US show. How did that come about?
Manty worked in the BBC and heard through the grapevine that they were looking for a band, an originals band, to provide like a soundtrack for the week. Apparently they were searching Scotland for months and didn't come across us, and Manty Caff sent them the Tenement TV performance,
right?
And as soon as they seen that, it was like, that's the band. That was back in 2012.
Aye.
And pretty crazy. Like, we done 7 songs, 5 in the Tron Theatre, and then several months later 2 in LA, and they cut 7 songs up and then aired them on separate nights. So we were on that show for a week, and we also re-recorded the theme tune, put our own twist on it. So that was at the start of each show. That was mental. Like, after we got back from LA though, we were playing to like 5 people in Dunfermline. Back down to earth. That's just
yeah, because for people that maybe don't know, Craig Ferguson's late night show in America was huge. It was one of the big late night talk shows.
Yeah, the Late Show. James Corden took over him. And he's obviously done well out of that. I heard that Craig Ferguson's got a new show in America, but I haven't. I don't know what it is.
So what about yourself? What's I mean, you've said you've got the King Tuts and you get the EP launch and then the album later in the year. Is that the kind of plans you've got?
I think so. Yeah, I would like the album out in summer. obviously with the whole COVID situation, it's a bit of a worry with the EP. So fingers crossed.
Of course, of course. And any plans for more live? Like, you're going to tour it once it's out? Is that the plan?
Oh yeah, definitely. February, we've obviously booked the King Tut show on the 19th. You'll be able to get tickets to that on my social media pages from today. Yeah, we're hoping to get a few dates around that show.
Nice one.
Probably just around Scotland. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Stephen, thanks very much for taking the time to have a chat. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, been a pleasure, mate.
And this is Stephen Young and Tangerine Drugstore.